Good morning, all of you. Good morning. Only four people are there. Okay, wait. Have you all registered? That is in WhatsApp through the link I sent. All people here. Have you all registered? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Because in WhatsApp only 18 students are there. Still only it's showing 18 students. So we have to get all other details. So any mining engineering students join now?
No, sir. No, sir.
No, sir. Okay. I think still the problem is existing. I think yesterday they added their name, but they are not able to come to class. I think separately they have arranged. I think so. So okay. Anyhow, we will sort it out today. Okay. So a few instruction I want to give. So when the classes started, okay. So don't leave in between. So attendance is purely they are monitoring. Okay. So as I already told, I think some of you received my mail also. In that very clearly they are monitoring when you are entering, when you are leaving. Suppose due to any internet connectivity also, if you are left the meeting in between, that is also recorded. After that, which time you are joined, whether you joined back or not, that also you keep on monitoring. Okay, so merely giving attendance that alone they are not considering. At least 60 minutes means maybe some 5 minutes, maybe some tolerance. So due to net connectivity and all, you can sometimes it may be disconnected. Once again, you may join. Okay, so keep it in mind. Don't left the meeting. Okay, and also I wanted to have it as an interactive session. Okay, suppose after my slides and 2 3 slides and all over, I may be asked. Okay, so it should be very lively, very interactive session. So then only we can go. As I already told, I am already preparing. So once everything is finalized, notes and all, that is after joining all the things. Actually, 28 students they opted for open elective, but still we are not able to get the full attendance. Maybe some four students from mining they're having some problem in joining still. I think yesterday they added their names, but I don't know. Today also their name list is not showing in the group. Yeah, we'll start out and do it. So today, tomorrow's class onwards, we will going to start with a smart board also. Maybe after this part is over completely, because you are all some of the branches, especially food processing technology, petroleum engineering, so even in naval architecture and offshore engineering for these people, so maybe totally a new concept. That's why it's as a, given as an open elective. Okay, so I have to give some more information about the electrical vehicle also. Today we will complete. From tomorrow onwards we will use both softboard and as well as PPT simultaneously. Okay, I think around 12 members joined. Okay, so we will start. Okay, I think recording also started. Okay. Are you all able to see my screen? Able to see?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Already we started and discussing about what is electrical vehicle, what are the different types. That is basically two types. One is electrical vehicle and hybrid electrical vehicle. What are the subdivisions? Subdivisions of hybrid electrical vehicle. There also we have seen that plug-in hybrid electrical vehicle, mild hybrid electrical vehicle. In hybrid electrical vehicle itself, it's having three different architectures. So namely series architecture, parallel architecture, and series parallel architecture. We have seen some video also how it is really working. So in case of a series architecture, we are using only a electrical motor for power propulsion, whereas in the remaining two, that is a parallel architecture of hybrid electrical vehicle and as well as series parallel architecture of hybrid electrical vehicle. In both the cases, we are using both propulsion unit. That is, we are using an internal combustion engine as well as a motor also. So mainly whether it is hybrid electrical vehicle or electrical vehicle, okay, as far as electrical part is concerned, battery plays a very important role. So that's why we have discussed, start discussing about battery last class, and today's class also we are going to continue. So last class, if you are able to recollect, that is a very important difference between the gasoline and the stored energy in battery. What's the stored energy in gasoline and what's the stored energy in battery is very huge difference. So, for example, 48 megajoules per kilogram of fuel is there. Okay, but whereas the stored energy is zero point 0.4 megajoules only in terms of per kilogram of a battery. So likewise, there is two different concept for any energy sources. That is, one is a theoretical energy density and practical energy density. So if you see that dotted line, dark line, that is showing the theoretical energy density. But whereas if you show a light dotted line, that is called a practical energy density. So in terms of how much watt hour, so you know that in electrical energy, in terms of electrical energy, sometimes this is about weight they are giving. Sometimes watt hour per liter also they can able to say volumetric information. So if you see that line, lead acid battery is very having very low watt hour per kilogram of particular stored energy. But whereas a gasoline is having very high, so approximately if you draw a line, if you draw a straight line, okay, so we can able to see that. 1 second. Okay, so this is a gasoline. So if I am able to draw, okay, so what is a theoretical? What is a theoretical energy? It is showing that 12,000 like that. But whereas in actual practice, it is showing maybe some 9,000 watt hour per kilogram. So we have to take the battery. So now earlier, a century before, approximately some 150 years, 40 years before, what's the electrical vehicle came, at that time they used only lead acid. Now slowly, lot of improvement, lot of development that happened that lead to the new batteries. Okay, so especially lithium batteries, lithium sulfur, lithium air, this type of batteries. Okay, so now they are having a very good energy density. So if you see that only a small difference, a small difference as far as in graph, but as far as this value, now only approximately some 900 watt hour per kilogram only reach. Still, still it is 10 times more. Gasoline energy density is 10 times more. So, and moreover, but even though it is having a very good advantages, we already seen several disadvantages of using a gasoline engine, that is internal combustion engine. So if you use fossil fuels, that is depleting in nature, and as well as it is producing a lot of pollution. In other side, whereas in electrical vehicle concept, there is a lot of advancement. That is one good advancement is, so there is a lot of new batteries are coming. Earlier they used very heavy weight lead acid, now lightweight with more energy density, and cost wise also affordable cost is there. So in such advantages it is having. So apart from that, charging of these batteries also nowadays it is need not to be from the conventional energy sources. We can able to charge these type of batteries using a renewable energy sources. So very important advantages is levelized cost of energy. So now, as I already told, both wind and as well as solar power, we can able to see very drastic fall down of values. So earlier, if we want to produce 1 unit, in terms of 1 unit is nothing but 1 kilowatt hour. 1 kilowatt hour, we have to spend around 15 rupees, 20 rupees. Now it is drastically coming down because of the advancement that happening in the collectors, okay, especially solar panels and windmill and its heights and its capacity of getting trapping, that is extracting the power from the renewable energy sources is more. Now we can able to see, we can able to get 1 unit of power for even for 3.5 rupees 1 unit, which is even not at all possible, because we know that in Tamil Nadu Electricity Board, so even though it is giving a different tariff, that is for a commercial application, industrial application, and domestic, they have followed a different tariffs. Okay, even if you see that more than 200 units, more than 300 units in domestic applications, if you are using, so that itself may lead to a unit cost more than 5 rupees. So such advancement is happening. So that is because of that we can able to incorporate this concept, even though it is a under more than century old concept. Now it is slowly it's coming. Especially I told in the year 1997. So we have already entire world is decided to go. Okay, that is by the year 2030. 30 percentage of at least 30 percentage of the new vehicle coming to the market should be electrical vehicle. So this is the technical background, how it is possible. So earlier it was not possible. That's why they have switched over from electrical vehicle to this type of internal combustion engine vehicle. Like earlier also from 1884 to up to 1940, 90, up to that electrical vehicles were there. So after that, suddenly a boom in this type of internal combustion engine, and its advantages, more horsepower, more range, a lot of advancement. Due to that, it came. But after 1960 onwards, we start realizing that we are doing the exploitation of fuel. So all the developed countries and developing country, even underdeveloping and underdeveloped countries, so everywhere we can able to see commonly they are using these type of internal combustion engines only for transportation purpose. So obviously, the rate of usage of fuel is keep on increasing. That we have to cut down. So because of that, very important thing is CO2 emission is more. Not only CO2, other carbon monoxide, nitrogen, other greenhouse gases also is we are liberating to the atmosphere. That lead to the temperature rise of 4.5 degrees Celsius per decade. Every 10 years, it is approximately the world temperature will increase. They are expecting. So that we have to cut down, that we have to keep it under control. So if we are not find an alternate way, we cannot able to do that. That's why we are doing like this. We have seen this also, engineering and technical details. Very important drawback of any battery, whether it is a lead acid or whether it is lithium ion, lithium sulfur, everything. So they are exhibiting a common characteristics, that is nothing but how much time, it is taken to charge 10 percentage of battery. Okay, from 0 to 10 percentage, the same amount of time. Okay, so maybe it is exhibiting. So when we draw the characteristics of the particular one, when they draw the characteristics of the battery one, suppose if you are charging a battery which is totally dry, which is totally completely discharged. Okay, so how much time it is taken from charging 10 percentage to 80 percentage, 10 percentage to 80 percentage, the same amount of time. If you see that the same amount of time, if I'm assuming the T1, almost the same amount of time it is consuming for charging from 80 percentage to 100 percentage. That is a very big thing is going on. That is why it is taking a very longer time. Okay, so if you see that, I can able to show. So from dry, if I'm charging, so definitely this much charge from charging from 0 to 10 percentage, it will take some time. Leave it that, because that is not going to, we cannot going to compare that. But if you take the time between charging of 10 percentage to 80 percentage, if I'm stating that value as a T1, that is this much hour or this much minutes it is taking, means the same amount of time the battery is taking charging from 80 to 100 percentage. Suppose if it is taking 4 hours or 3 hours means 3 hours means so charging from 80 percentage to 100 percentage also taking a 3 hour. That is a very big disadvantage of battery. Still, it is under research. A lot of methods we already started addressing. That is, we have achieved so far is we can reduce the time, charging time. So totally. But we cannot able to achieve a considerable amount of that is differences that is huge differences between the 10 to 80 and 80. So of course we can allow whatever the time, but 80 to 100 percentage there is a cutting down the time, charging time. A lot of technologies are playing, very especially power electronics converters, special purpose chargers. So they are all under research. So maybe we can expect within a decade, which can reduce very less. Okay, so we see what is the characteristics exhibiting now. The batteries are exhibiting may not be the same maybe after 10 years. Okay, so and if you see after knowing both IC engine and as well as electrical vehicle engine, we can able to come to a conclusion that we can go for electrical vehicle, but still there is a three key issues are there, because one is energy density that we can able to address. Lot of researches are going on compared to the lead acid. Now what is a lithium ion or lithium sulfur lithium air batteries having very good energy density, which is almost 10 times more energy density of conventional batteries. But whereas still we have to go for some 10 times more energy density if you want to match the energy density with the gasoline. Okay. So apart from that, even if you are interested in go with the electrical vehicle, these are all the three key issues. One is, as I already told, even though if you want to go for switch over to electrical vehicle, it is not electricity is not newly readily available energy sources. Definitely we have to once again depend on the fossil fuels for major there is major percentage of supplying this electricity. Say for example, additionally if I need 100 units 100 units, so definitely all these 100 units cannot be generated by means of a renewable energy sources. So definitely charging a battery need electricity. So maybe some extent now averagely world average is around 7 percentage of renewable energy contribution is 7 percentage only. Remaining some 12 to 15 percentage may be nuclear. So rest of the things still dominated by the conventional means only, conventional energy sources only, especially using the fossil fuels and etc. And of course hydro power plant. And these are all contributing. So that we have to additionally, so we have to burn them additionally. How we are going to address this issue? Second important thing is, if you want to full-fledgedly bring the electrical vehicle by the year 2030, at least 30%, by the year 2050, at least 45% means. So this is a very important thing, is local constraints on accessing electricity. So what is the infrastructure now? Electrical infrastructure now we are having. So we all seen that your home is there. So around some 100 or some 200 houses may be connected to your own transformer. That transformer may be having a rating of 250 kV. If you see the transformer, okay, that was available in your area, maybe 250 kVA to so maybe 100 kV. Suppose less houses only connected to the particular houses, number of houses. Suppose some 50 houses, 100 houses means they may be connected to 100 kV. So maybe very less case, very. But normally 250, 500 kV, 1000 kV. In city side, we can very easily see the 1000. So that much power only earlier we have assessed, because every house we have identified that maximum of this much power only they can use. So totally we have calculated, and roughly for the 100 houses, 150 houses, we are assuming the 250 kV only. Now, if you are additionally bringing, assume that next year or within 5 years, so all the people are that is they switched over the particular cars to electrical vehicles. So definitely additional energy has to be supplied. So whether the infrastructure is sufficient, existing infrastructure is sufficient, how we can able to manage in somehow up to with the existing infrastructure, that is the second issue. And of course, the cleanliness of electricity. So as I already told, this first and this uh, uh, third points are interlinked. Okay, so because if you want to go for electrical vehicle, there is a need of additional demand of electricity. That additional electricity we have to produce, so some 80 percentage still with the conventional means only. Remaining 20 percentage only, maybe we can extend. That is not 20 percentage now, that is still less than 10 percentage only. If you are extended, if you are extended the particular technology of producing electricity from renewable energy sources, maybe some another 20 percentage may be contributed means still we are using the fossil fuels. So this additional demand will increase the additional fuel, so automatically additional carbon dioxide may be liberated. So how we have to justify? We have to justify compared to the IC engine vehicle, if we are producing the electricity required for electric vehicle, how it is with cleanliness compared to the IC engine. So because IC engine, using IC engine or gasoline engine, it is kind of a distributed pollution. Because instead of producing electricity one place, okay, so we have used the IC engine wherever the power required, we are using the fossil fuels. Any other vehicle will run. Okay, so comparison, instead of that, whether we can switch over to a centralized means of electricity production and all the vehicles should be run by electricity, or which is better, that we have to see. That is an important issue called cleanliness of electricity. So for all these three issues, one common conclusion is, if we are properly managing the charging, if we are properly managing the charging, we can able to achieve, we can able to overcome this issue. How we are going to see? It's a very important thing. So I have made some calculations. Suppose there is an additional demand for electricity because of the electrical vehicle. So one thing we have to see, rate of growth. How many vehicles per year that going to be added? Okay. So suppose assume that number of electrical vehicles are added. We'll see next slide. We see I'm quantifying this. I'm quantifying this concept. Next slide I have shown that. Okay. So if number of vehicles are added, okay, if number of vehicles based on the rate of growth, how much kilometer they are driven? That is usage. How much kilometer they are driven? So including we have to identify any alternatives for that, so that we have to think. Okay. So if that much kilometer driven means, so what is the efficiency of the particular electrical vehicle? Suppose if I want to drive some 100 kilometer daily, I'm using my electrical vehicle 100 kilometers, how much unit consumption per kilometer, that you have to calculate. So how much unit consumption per kilometer? Okay, so as I already told, it is under the research, a lot of R&D work are going. Definitely it is going to improve, like rate of growth is going to improve, this is also going to be keep on improve only. So that is called EV efficiency, electrical vehicle efficiency. So that we can able to identify, from this we can able to identify how much electricity used. Okay, suppose if you go for a centralized mean of generation, that is using power plants, power plant remotely operated, that is wherever energy sources are available, from there we are tapping. Say for example, any thermal power plant, any gas or diesel or uh, any other means of conventional power generation that cannot be uh, near to the any cities. So there's a lot of rule, and also uh, naturally load centers are far away from the generating stations. So generating stations should be located far away in order to avoid so many other pollution and other issues only. So obviously that power has to be connected to grid. Through grid, it has to reach the public. That is for charging this vehicle. So we have to take grid losses of 7 to 8%. We are all know that power is generated at one place. Power, okay. So if you want to transmit the power to the load center where people are living, okay, so it need a very lengthy transmission line. After the transmission line, we used to step down transformer. So from that step down transformer only, lot of people will be distributed. So when electricity is transmitted like that, electricity is transmitted like that. So energy losses will occur. Energy losses occur. So mainly that losses can be calculated by I square R. I square R is nothing but how much current it is carrying, square of that. R is nothing but resistance of the particular conductor. This is a very common rule, you know that. Okay, common rule is how much usually for AC. Okay, alternating current, we used to say I square R, small I we are using. That is nothing but it is showing instantaneous current. I is nothing but instantaneous current, which is a alternating current. No, that is keep on varying. That magnitude is keep on varying. That is a that only it implies. Okay, so what is the resistance of the conductor and how much current multiplied by that much amount of watts. Okay, losses will occur. So they are estimated that. So if you all connected to grid, okay, so from the grid they are all once again taken the power. So approximately 70 to 80% normally it can happen. So minimizing this is too difficult. In India, in India, you know that surprisingly this transmission losses is 17.8 percentage 2 years back. 2 years back, I'm telling the statistic because why it is huge means it is including the power theft, not only losses. So including so many ways power theft can happen. So they are also added the losses. Okay, so that means if you are producing 100 percentage power, 100 kilowatt power, it is reaching. It is reaching to the public is around 82.5 kilowatt only. 17.5 kilowatt will be losses in the transmission losses. So if you cut down this power theft and improve the power factor, so many electrical parameters are there. So because you are all not belongs to the department, electrical department people, I'm just saying some losses occur. So this is a basic of I square R. How much current it is taking square and resistance of the conductor. That all you know because all you came from the physics chemistry background from the school. Okay, so this much losses only we cannot avoid. We cannot minimize this less than this. Okay, it is too difficult. So 7 to 8% of losses. So if you are added that much electricity only I have to additionally produce. Okay, say for example I am taking 10 million electrical vehicle. Okay, so 1 million is equal to 10 lakhs. 1 million is equal to 10 lakhs. 10 million means 1 crore electrical vehicle if I am taking additionally. So averagely each vehicle is running around 12,500 kilometer per year. Okay, so that vehicle, say for example, if I've taken Nissan Leaf model, okay, so kilowatt hour per 100 kilometer is 14 to 18. 14 to 18 units it's consuming. Okay, so Nissan and EPA model. Okay, so approximately I'm taking a 20 units per 100 kilometer. If I charged that electrical vehicle with the 20 units, it can go to up to 100 kilometers. Means per year, this much kilowatt hour, this much unit. Okay, so this much unit per year I have to add. If I'm added 8 percentage grid losses to that, it lead to the 27,174 gigawatt hour. Here is kilowatt hour, gigawatt hour. Okay, so you know that kilo, mega, okay, giga, tera, like that. This much amount of power. Okay, so if I'm assuming whatever may be existing, see India, you know that uh, our installed capacity is around 3.5 lakhs megawatt. Okay, so if we are producing, so from that we can able to calculate how much unit it can produce. So this much, if 1 crore electrical vehicle is there, if 1 crore electrical vehicle averagely 12,500 kilometer per year it is traveling means, that is we are using it means approximately 20 units per 100 kilometer we are using means we can able to identify that this much amount of additional power we have to produce. That much, sir. Because simply bringing the a concept of electrical vehicle, okay, so to our home or whoever can afford to that buy, okay, affordable to buy that, that alone is not matter. We have to create, okay, electrical infrastructure that's especially additional power to be produced that has to be met down. Okay, so that also one issue that we can able to manage, okay, with the charging. Okay, so next important thing, as I already told, local capacity constraints, local capacity with the existing infrastructure. Okay, so how effectively we can do that. Okay, so that is a very important thing. If you study all the individual devices in our home, whether it is electric shower, standard, this is for a EV charger, EV charger. Okay, leaving that, if you see oven, electrical shower, normally it is having a capacity of 7 to 10 kilowatt. But how much hour we are using? Only 5 minutes. 5 minutes only, okay, that's hardly 5 minutes. Oven, we are having oven for heating, cooking purposes. We are having. So that may be even if you cook it for some middle class family, maybe range from half an hour to 3 hours. If you're using a kettle, especially to heat the water or to make coffee and other things, even though it is having a 2 to 3 kilowatt, it is we are using it for 1 minute only. So if you are all considering how much energy, this is a power, but if we are using it for 5 minutes, half an hour, and etc. only. But if we are using a EV charger, if it is between the 3 to 7 kilowatt, we have to use it between 2 to 8 hours. So that lead to the demand diversity. Demand diversity. That's why I told her, okay, suppose I having a distributed network, okay, for 100 homes, if 200 kVA, 200 kVA transformer is there. So if you are assuming even though power factor is nearer to 1, so 200 kilowatt of power we need for 100 homes. Okay, 100 homes. So with the individual home capacity is 14 to 24 kilowatt. Okay, so that's what if you are using annually, we are already seen the 12,500 kilometer. Using a 550 kilometer per day means once in a 2 days only I need to charge. So if that is the case, so 20 kilo instead of 20 kilowatt, I need 10 kilowatt only because earlier 20 kilowatt per 100 kilometers. So suppose if I'm using 50 kilometer per day only means 100 units additionally we need to produce. So that can be managed if we are changing the charging at the average rate. Suppose average rate, okay, especially when these loads are off, okay, especially in the night time. So definitely we won't use electrical shower and oven, kettle, this and all. We won't use it afterwards. So at that time, so the particular distribution network available power will be more. Say for example, lighting, fan and other AC, air conditioners, if you are all put together, it may be lead to 30 percentage only. 30 percentage only means around 140 kilowatt, 140 kilowatt of power will be available. 140 kilowatt of power. So if you see that here each vehicle need 3 to 7 kilowatt means we can able to accommodate. We can able to get accommodate more number of vehicles. That too, so maybe varying from 2 to 8 hours only. If you use 7 kilowatt, I need 2 hours. If you use 3 kilowatt, I need 8 hours. So that's the way we have to understand. So local capacity constraints, definitely we have to improve and we have to additionally strengthen the capacity of distribution network and etc. But it can manage without going for additional transformers and other things. If you improve power, or if you are managing, that's what I told when the key issues are coming. If you are properly management of EV charging, so charging time, so fixed charging time at the time, so no other load should be added. So it should be at least we should ensure that some 70 percentage of the capacity of the distribution network should be free. So at that time we can able to have it. And third important thing, so the cleanliness of electricity use. So this is also the same calculation I have taken. So if I'm using a gasoline, petrol engine, and EV, I'm comparing that. So if it is using this much kilowatt hour per kilometer efficiency. So likewise in gasoline or petrol engine also I can able to say this much liter per kilometer. Okay, instead of we used to say 40 kilometer per liter, but here I am saying this much liters per kilometer, this much liters per kilometer. So by that we can able to compare the efficiency and fuel economy of vehicle. So obviously that will be multiplied by how much kilometers it is traveling. So that will give how much gram of carbon dioxide per kilowatt hour. That means here in petrol engine, how much gram of carbon dioxide per liter consumption. So I can able to get. So that is the CO2 emission of both type. If you're using electrical vehicle, okay, if it is having a kilowatt per kilometer, if I'm able to calculate that is its efficiency, whereas in the petrol or gasoline engine, liters per kilometer, if I'm able to identify that is called a fuel economy. So obviously that will be kilometer will be same. So these kilometers will be same. Okay, so this kilometer will be same. So if we are, if this is same, so if you see that how much gram of carbon dioxide, here I mentioned gram, obviously in the kilogram only. Carbon dioxide per kilowatt hour, if you see that, that is equal to CO2 emission. So with this concept, with this idea, I just compare electrical vehicle with the petrol. So I'm assuming we already know that the Nissan Leaf is a model which is in Indian market. If you see that around 61 percentage of the electrical vehicle sold out to today is 61 percentage from the Nissan Leaf. So that's why I've taken the model, which is having a energy efficiency of 20 kilowatt hour per 100 kilometer. But here in petrol, 3 to 7 liters per 100 kilometer. It is varying. Some need some vehicle, okay, some vehicles, some heavy vehicles, okay, so with a large power capacity, horsepower capacity, may take more liters, 7 liters like that. Some of the vehicles only may have 3 liters. So even we cannot say in India is around even if you see Tata, okay, Tata one vehicle is there. It is having approximately 25 liters, 25 kilometer per liter. So 4 to 7 liters per 100 kilometer we can say that. So with this, I have calculated that 150 to 300 gram of CO2 per kilowatt hour in case of electrical vehicle, but whereas 2.35 kilogram of carbon dioxide per liter. If you see that here 150 to 300, almost 10, almost 7, 8 times. Okay, 8 times. I can say that if you see even 300 I have taken almost 8 times. Okay, if I've taken a 150 more than 10 times, so of carbon dioxide emission is causing by the gasoline engine, which is approximately electrical vehicle 410 to 820 kilogram of carbon dioxide per vehicle. 410 to 820 kilogram. So this is called dirtiest generation mix. So for this power production, for this electrical production, suppose if I'm assuming completely using thermal power plant only, a thermal power plant or even diesel and other fuel power plant is various. That is called dirtiest generation mix. Okay, so obviously, definitely, any country will not produce completely on thermal. So maybe some 60 to 60 percentage to 70 percentage will be from thermal power station. So we can say that 410. Okay, but whereas if you're using a petrol engine, gasoline engine, they are producing 880 kilogram minimum itself to 2000. Say, for example, if I'm taking a 4 liter, okay, 4 liter per 100 kilometer, that vehicle will cost 880 kilogram, okay, to 2000 kilogram, okay, of carbon dioxide per week, per year. Okay, so this is huge difference because here is the maximum dirtiest mix because the power I am producing by means of all thermal power plant, that electricity if I am supplying there itself only 820 kilogram only dirtiest generation mix. But whereas in case of a engine, every vehicle we are producing, every vehicle we are using a fuels. So if you are taken to the account, it is taken as a 880 kilogram. So if you see that, you can able to see how cleanliness, even though if you are switched over to electrical vehicle, so it is obviously giving a better result only in terms of pollution. That is, yes, of course, we have to depend on conventional energy sources. So at least for next 20 25 years, still the alternate is fine. But this is only taken to the consideration of existing methods, all the conventional and etc. Here I have not taken any values from the renewable energy sources contribution in both the cases. So here, obviously, it's each vehicle we are using a fuel. Obviously, here then that question will not arise here. So if you are incorporated the concept of levelized cost of energy, implementing the solar panel over the roof, and additionally in all the houses also charging stations, charging facilities from the renewable energy sources that incorporated, that definitely it may be drastically coming down. Drastically coming down. We may be some 300 to 400 only. We have to depend on the conventional. So this is how we can able to address. Okay, so I have here. um, So here I have incorporated another one, hybrid electrical vehicle, which includes this animation video includes both series concepts. So that is series parallel concept of working in the same video. If you see that, you can able to understand the hybrid electrical concept a little bit more very clearly. So here, this is like how it is really working. So using a gear arrangement. This is an IC engine. This is a internal combustion engine. So with that, we are running. If we are additionally add, okay, motor also for producing the some percentage of the propulsion power required. Earlier, the entire propulsion power is met out by internal combustion engine only, which is using a fuel. But now, additionally, I have incorporated a motor. Okay, I have made some percentage of hybridization. So that is also contributing to the power. Okay, suppose if it is contributing 80%, earlier 100%, now the IC engine will contribute only 80%, remaining 20% of power will be produced. This is called 20% of hybridization. So I can able to increase the rating of motor in such a way that the contribution from the IC engine can be reduced further. This is how it will be looks like. Okay, so what is the power shaft of the IC engine? It is also supported by the motor. So the resultant power is contributed by both by means of electrical and as well as by means of a gasoline engine. So now this is a concept how, okay, any series vehicle. So here, if you see that electrical motor alone is producing the required propulsion power, but whereas IC engine is coupled with a generator, that generator is charging a battery. From the battery, it is having. So it is called series hybrid. Earlier we have seen the parallel hybrid. First one we have seen is parallel hybrid. This is called series hybrid. Here, what is the role of IC engine? Is to that has to be produce required amount of power to charge the battery only. So automatically this IC engine through this gear arrangement is coupled to the generator. That generator is producing a required electricity. That electricity is given to the motor. This is called series hybrid. First one is parallel hybrid and series hybrid. Yes. So there are three different train configuration. I can have a series hybrid, parallel hybrid, incorporating both. That is called power split hybrid also. That is series parallel hybrid. Okay. So with that small video presentation, we'll finish. Next, we'll move to the batteries. So very important part, as we are all aware that already I clearly told that battery pack is the very important. Before that, I want to have some discussion, any clarification like that. Any clarification from your side? Hello? Are you all able to hear me?
Hello, yes, sir, yes, sir.
Any clarification
Yes, sir.
so far we have discussed? Because now I think you may understand completely what is the need and the importance of electrical vehicle or hybrid electrical vehicle. Okay, what are all the three different architecture? Okay, when one is a pure electrical vehicle and another one is a hybrid electrical vehicle and another one is a plug-in hybrid electrical vehicle. Each hybrid electrical vehicle is having based on architecture series parallel like that three different architectures are there. Now I think we're all able to understand.
Hello,
And
sir.
additional to that, I also give a justification why we have to go compared to the IC engine. In electric vehicle also we need electricity that has to be produced from once again mainly dependent on fossil fuels. But centralized means of generation is comparatively uh, giving a greater shaving of carbon dioxide. So instead of doing the distributed manner of operating this vehicle, especially IC engine, so in that way I have given. Yes, Vikram Selva Ganesh.
Sir, you told like that we need an infrastructure to uh, construct this EV vehicle
Ah,
environment.
ah, wha-
India, how much India is ready to doing that infrastructure? Sir?
That's what. Suppose if you are using existing electrical infrastructure in your house without doing any additional thing, okay. So that only a management concept is need. This is sufficient. So sufficient. Suppose if you want to go for a electrical vehicle, buy electrical vehicle in your house itself, you want to have a charging station. The charging facilities, no problem. Only thing is timing. So maybe late night after 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, so almost 70 percentage of the power is we are not using. Only 30 percentage only we are using. That is exclusively for fan and small illumination and AC purposes only. We are not using any more offices and industries and all will be closed only, which are all operating 8 hours or 10 hours per year, 10 hours per day. Okay, but if you use it as a commuting vehicle concept, suppose you want to have a car by which you are regularly want to go far away, 400 kilometers, Chennai to some other area and etc. means definitely you need a charging station facilities, like how much fuel station we are having. Okay. So that charging station itself, if you are increasing the rating, okay. So I told that in house maybe we can have 3 to 7 kilowatt. Okay, in a common places like charging station, if you're using a 3 to 7 kilowatt hour, you cannot stay there for 8 hours for charging. Okay, so definitely within 2 hours, 4 hours, you want to get a charging. So charging station capacity has to be increased. India is facing a very big drawback. Is recently it is that only. So recently those who are all bought electrical vehicle, whenever they are used the electrical vehicle as a commuting vehicle, there is commuting vehicle means long places they are traveling. Okay, so they are finding very difficulty,
Yes, sir. Yes,
very
sir.
less charging station. That
Actually,
infrastructure has
while
to be created. Yes.
while I studying 6th standard,
Mm.
at least electric scooter and all came on the market.
Yes. Electric scooter. Yes.
After 1 year
Mm.
and all, everything gone.
Yeah. So problem is the battery they are using no for commercial. Earlier the electric vehicle they producing, so they all used lead acid batteries. They all used. Still, I know a lot of companies, especially in Coimbatore, Hyderabad, Mumbai, they are not switched over to a modern batteries. Okay, how suppose a company, car company like Tesla or Nissan or even Mahindra E2, they are all switched over to lithium-ion batteries. But what's the very pathetic situation here is people are not aware about the batteries. So they are buying a very modernized vehicle, but energy source is lead acid or nickel metal hydride. So that can be last long for maybe 3 years, 4 years only if you are properly maintaining. So for example, lead acid battery, we are all using in our home itself for UPS purpose. Okay. So that may be if you are properly maintaining, it may comes around 6, 7 years. If you are not improperly, very frequently charging and discharging means it may become for 3, 4 years. But whereas lithium ion, lithium sulfur batteries having a life period of 17 years with a charging of 40,000 to 50,000 cycle. That cycle is we can able to do charging and discharging 40,000, 50,000 times. Okay, so that much capacity is now. Unfortunately, public are obviously we cannot blame public. People may not have only they will see the outside look only. Okay, but they have to verify the specification, which type of battery they use. Now vehicles are coming. Now vehicles are coming. Especially we are all aware that in Delhi, okay, because of Supreme Court directions, so huge pollution is causing very major problem. Okay, pollution level is increasing. They have ordered the government to switch over all the even trucks and buses to also electrical vehicle. Okay, so obviously any government they cannot go for a vehicle which need a frequent changing of batteries once in 2 years or 3 years. Okay, they are used. So once a mass manufacturing coming, automatically once a competition is there, okay, without any monopolism, once competition is there, the huge this type of battery will going to come. Okay, so that is not a fault of a concept of electrical vehicle. That is a fault of a manufacturer who is still depending on the very old vehicle that is battery called lead acid. Okay, we have to come out of the lead acid battery concept. We have to switch over to lithium. That is the thing. Yes.
Sir, and another thing is you compare with CO2 emission with like petrol and
Yeah.
EV.
Yeah.
In EV, we are running fully in the electric vehicle. How we are getting that 400 to around
If you are EV, we are getting electrical vehicle. We need to charge the battery. No, that electricity will come from producing electricity only. No, suppose in your house you are having electric vehicle, you are having additionally buying. So that need electricity. That electricity where it is producing
Okay,
only
you are saying
30%.
thermal power plants.
Thermal power plant. There we are producing carbon dioxide. No, that account I am taking.
Okay.
If you have taken that only, it will be a correct calculation. No, that's why I have taken that. So I identified that instead that is better. Okay, electrical vehicle is better than IC engine vehicle because IC engine every vehicle we are burning and we are producing carbon dioxide. But whereas in electrical vehicle, in a centralized manner, where we are electricity produced, there only we are that account I have taken and compare that. Any clarification? Shall we proceed further? Okay, we'll see the just battery side. These are all the batteries that we are used in electrical vehicles. So of course, this is a very old isolated lead acid battery. So lead acid battery, so very old one, maybe 1859 onwards we are using. But only thing is, still we are having that. As one of you told that in the modern, in the latest vehicle also, some people are cheating the public or unknowingly without knowing the technological advancement they are using this type of batteries. Obviously very it is having a very three disadvantages. I am showed the plus and minus of each batteries. If you see that, let us say cost wise it's okay. That is why mainly some of the manufacturers they are using. So like it is like a civil engineer. If you don't know about the uh, cost of the material and etc. What they will show? They will purchase a low cost material, so somehow they will able to finish the construction and hand over it. After certain years only, you will face problems. That's all. Okay, this is a very cost worthy. Okay, so recycling is also possible. Okay, but whereas energy density, very poor energy density, environment. After the life period of the particular lead acid battery, okay, we have to dispose it. So that lead to, if you dispose it to the atmosphere, open space, or if you put it in any dustbin like that, so it will lead to a lot of environmental problem. And another one is weight of the battery is more. So next come is nickel cadmium battery. So it is having a very good without having temperature. So almost a very long range of temperature is working. Lifetime also more, but this is also having a same problem, environment and weight. More it will cause environment problem when we are disposing, okay, not at operating. When we are dispose the battery, and likewise weight of the battery is also problem. And another one is next came nickel metal hydride. Okay, here its cost is very high, and another one problem is self-discharge. If it, so automatically it will keep on discharging. So leakage of electrons also through air will be there, but very good power density compared to the previous two type. It is having very. So then we moved to the lithium ion. Only thing is cost. So that's why I think this may be the answer. Why some of the people still the manufacturers of electrical vehicle, especially two-wheelers and all, they are using lead acid is so they can able to give you a battery which is available in the very the less cost. They why they are hesitate to go to lithium ion is cost is more. Cost is more. So here it is having a very important two parameters for any electrical vehicle. Power density and energy density is more. Okay. That's why even a Tesla 3 model, if you see that they all use lithium ion batteries only. They are used induction motor for the power propulsion purpose and lithium ion batteries only. The cost is high, but compared to any all these three type, energy density and power density is there. So in addition to the lithium ion, next to come lithium sulfur. Lithium sulfur, it is slightly having a more energy density than this lithium ion and power density, but cost also still more. And lithium air batteries under research. It is having, they are saying that approximately one third of gasoline. Gasoline is having a 9,000 watt hour, 9,000 watt hour per kilogram, whereas here it can have, we can have up to 3,000, 3,500, whatever they are estimating. So this is going to, so if you see that 1859 to still, okay, keep on improvement in the battery. Now we are under the some pressure of moving to a new technology that is called electrical vehicle. Obviously, that will facilitate more efficient and cheap batteries maybe in the near future. Okay. So this is a thing already we have discussed specific energy and etc. Okay, so we have discussed with the gasoline. Now we can able to see, okay, any key performance of electrical vehicle requirement is high energy density, long cycle life, lightweight, small size. Because high energy density is only is facilitating a vehicle with a required amount of power. Okay, power, energy density, and more time. Energy density is mainly for distributing the power for more time. Energy density we need. Long cycle life. How many times we are charging and discharging? That should be more. Okay. And of course, if it is a lightweight only, it can contribute in a vehicle movement. Okay. For acceleration purpose, velocity purpose, it is playing a very important role. So as far as space, accommodation in the vehicle, it should be in a small space. This is a key performance requirement that we have to keep it in mind. High energy density in order to give the required power for more time, long cycle life. Okay, so I want to have a battery which is lasting for at least 20 years, 15 to 20 years. Then only investing in electrical vehicle is relatively cheap, relatively cheap. Okay, then next one is lightweight. This is very important because whatever the vehicle is carrying this weight, dead weight of the vehicle can be reduced. Dead weight of the vehicle, this is the major portion. So automatically that lead to the improved velocity. Okay, so this also lead to small size. If it is a small size, obviously I can able to use the remaining space very effectively. In any electrical vehicle, I can go for even a small size vehicle, electrical vehicle, cars and all. This graph shows mass energy density and volume energy density. So watt hour per liter, watt hour per kilogram. Okay, if you see here also, compared to that lead acid, nickel cadmium, nickel zinc, nickel metal hydride, so lithium battery is showing very superior performance. Very superior performance. If I'm seeing the practical energy efficiency, that is in a light blue color, compared to any other battery than zinc air, lithium air is having. So compared to lithium and zinc air is having very good energy density. So they are having lithium air expected to have at least 4,000 watt hour per kilogram. So what is a gasoline? Gasoline is here. Gasoline is now it's here almost 9,000 watt hour. So lithium air is capable of achieving at least half of that. At least half of that. Definitely in future batteries will come that can occupy more space. Okay. So I think with this we will I will complete. Any clarification? We will have problem. I will take attendance also. Don't leave the class. Please wait. I will download. You can stop recording.